Welcome to the Tailgate Guys BBQ Show podcast, sponsored by Blues Hog Barbecue Sauce, The Butcher Shop, Code 3 Spices, The Barbecue Central Show, Royal Oak Charcoal, Affordable Income Tax and Payroll, and DDR Fabrication. Now the fire is hot and the tailgate's down. So let's talk some Q with your hosts, Lyndall Scranton and Steve Cave.
Hey, welcome to a special video edition of this week's Tailgate Guys Barbecue Show. Steve Kaler joining me from across town. I'm Lyndall Scranton. We're kind of isolated in our home offices this week as the studio setting we usually come to you from is on lockdown, like a lot of things in the country right now. Steve, how you getting along over on the south side?
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. We're doing fine. We're just taking it one day at a time, and about the only trips we make are to the grocery store, and that's about it. Nothing else.
I know you were out and about over the weekend at some grocery stores and giving some reports. How'd you find things out and around town?
Well, it's just crazy. I mean, people are, I guess, thinking that it's the end of the world is coming and they need all the toilet paper they can get because this is literally scaring the you-know-what out of them. So, but yeah, we've found some places where we can get some. We got more toilet paper now than we're ever going to use in a year. And then I found a little beef farm out east of town here, about 20 miles, and I found some really good meat that I started using last night. I did a couple of skirt steaks for fajitas and stuff like that. It really turned out good. And it's just a young couple raising beef and selling it out of their farm way out in the middle of nowhere, and really good prices and really good quality, I can tell right now.
Did you find them through the local farmers market?
Yeah, I think so. I came across it by accident on Facebook, and I may have been looking in the farmers market. They're not at farmers market. But I found them and went out there, and really nice young couple with a couple of kids and cows and dogs and stuff. And we bought some skirt steak, ribeye, hamburger patties, brats. But they have everything out there. They have some oxtail. I'm going to go back out in a couple of weeks and get some oxtail and some beef short ribs and things like that. But we did participate in the farmers market, which was a drive-through situation where the tables were set up. And you just drove past and rolled down your window and told them what you wanted. And they had mostly everything ready to go. And then everything was in even dollars, so you didn't pay any tax. So it worked out pretty good that way. And that went really well. I think people are kind of adapting, except for the nuts, who are going after everything. Now apparently flour is in great demand all over the place. I guess people have taken to making their own bread because, of course, bread will cease being made. In the middle. I roll my eyes. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm rolling my eyes and all this because this is the way people react to this kind of stuff.
Well, I was out at one of the local barbecue stores over the weekend. They said they're actually having some trouble finding enough charcoal right now. Some charcoal shortages are going on, and our shipments are running behind. So you need charcoal. Hope you're stocked up.
Yeah, I hope so too. I've got plenty. I've got plenty of pellets. So I used my little bullseye last night, and boy, it just ran like a champ and grilled all my vegetables there and just threw that skirt steak on for a few minutes, and it was ready to go. We ate to our heart's content.
Well, for those who are maybe accidentally seeing this for the first time, we apologize for having to look at us, but we're usually on the audio version on the podcast, but we have 57 archived editions of the show on tailgateguysbbq.com. Or go to your any of your podcast platforms and search for us. Coming up today, Mark Lambert. We're going to attempt to track him down by Skype here in just a bit. Visit with Mark, a barbecue icon. Our buddy Smiley Mondragon. He came over the other day. We did a little how-to video properly preparing a gateway drum smoker and using Royal Oak charcoal to light it up. He kind of goes through the steps of that. And visit with Smiley a bit about his background in barbecue and how he got started.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things. People just going to have to we talk about the reruns of our show. I mean, that's what sports stations are having to do now. They're showing the best of anything they can. I mean, they had WrestleMania on. They've had all kinds of silly things on there for you to watch.
Well, and one thing that we've done to try to lighten the mood, we had the Barbecue Madness barbecue bracket up over the weekend, a 64-team tournament. I kind of threw together over a few hours the other day. It was proved to be incredibly popular. A lot of the national barbecue teams were really getting excited and encouraging their folks to vote. We had 23,000 votes cast on that silly thing.
Wow, that's great.
In 48 hours, but we're down to the field of 32. Fire that back up again on Thursday. Of course, the big upset in that one was number 15 seed Burnt Finger Barbecue knocked off the number 2 seed in the Bill Arnold region. Number 2 seed Shake and Bake. We named the regions after some barbecue icons.
Sure.
Pat Burke and Bill Arnold, Ray Lampe, and also Paul Kirk region as well. I apologize for forgetting him for just a moment. The 4 barbecue icons. We might do this again next year in February, assuming things are back to normal. Maybe do a bracket again. Maybe I'll do a little more research and maybe get the team seated a little more properly.
I was not surprised Burnt Finger beat Shake and Bake. I thought you seeded them really low. I just thought with their background and winning at Memphis or almost winning at Memphis in May and really doing some pretty good stuff, I thought they might be the upset one. They would be, what would they be, like the Richmond of the tournament, if knock off some top seeds?
Yeah, it was 9 years ago. Norfolk State beat Mizzou in a 15 versus 2 matchup. So, so it's you think it'd be easy to seed a barbecue tournament, but until you sit down and try to do it, and there's an incredible amount of good teams out there. So
yeah, that's true.
Learned a lot. Hey, but before we take a break, I want to tell you about our friends at Blues Hog Barbecue Sauce. If you're looking for great sauce, look no further than Blues Hog. It was invented by barbecue legend Bill Arnold. It's available in 6 flavors, including the raspberry chipotle.
Oh, audio visuals. All right.
Yes, sir. Raspberry chipotle, good stuff. But go to blueshog.com. They're running a 15% off sale. Use the code SauceNation15. You get 15% off this week. But the best sauce on the planet is Blues Hog. Another one of our great sponsors is the Butcher Shop out of Pensacola, Florida, home of the always hand-picked A9 brisket. It's used by many of the nation's top teams. They'll ship anywhere in the USA, whether you're cooking in the backyard or on the competition circuit. Trust the Butcher Shop for all your barbecue needs. Find them on Facebook or give Kevin Green a call, 850-458-8782. That's the Butcher Shop. Well, Steve, hey, we're going to try to connect here in a minute with Mark Lambert. Sweet. Oh, a little musical interlude taking us to break. Well, thank you very much. Hey, we'll come back and visit with you a little bit later in the show, Steve, as we reconnect. Sure. Hey, I also want to tell you about one of our great sponsors on the Tailgate Guys show. It's Greg Rempe and the Barbecue Central Show. Greg does it live each Tuesday night, 9 to 11 Eastern. You can catch it on Facebook, YouTube, or TuneIn. It's the longest running show that covers the live fire industry. Each month you'll hear from regular guests like Malcolm Reed, Meathead from AmazingRibs.com, or Stephen Reichlin. You'll get all the latest news and reviews along with thoughts and takes from one of these industry's leading opinion makers. If you can't catch the show live, subscribe to the podcast. Listen to it at your convenience. The first hour of the show comes out on Wednesdays. The second hour is released on Thursdays. That's a Barbecue Central show. It's the king of all barbecue shows with Greg Rempe. And go catch it live each Tuesday night. We're back on the Tailgate Guys Barbecue Show. Mark Lambert has been in the competition barbecue game for more than 20 years. His Sweet Swine of Mine team, a 2-time Memphis MA Grand Champion, 4-time Pork Shoulder Champion at Memphis, also first place ribs at the American Royal. Mark has a wide array of barbecue products from Olive Branch, Mississippi. We welcome Mark Lambert to the show. Mark, man, thanks for coming on and joining us. Yeah, how are things? The world is kind of at a slowdown. How are things in your neck of the woods?
We're Memphis is kind of crazy, I think, and we're not far from there. We're about 20 minutes from Memphis. our business is actually in Byhalia, Mississippi, a little further southeast down 78 toward Birmingham, Alabama. And here is kind of, except for looking at the shelves at the Piggly Wiggly and the Dollar General, everything's kind of business as usual. We're kind of a small little town, but in the way of business, as far as online business in the world of barbecue, things are definitely kaput. Sales are down. There's no contest going on. People are cooking at home, but it don't seem that people are probably going a little simpler than they would normally, and when the competition world's in full swing.
Yeah, for instance, normally you'd probably be hitting a few contests here and there to gear up for Memphis in May, I would think right now.
Yeah, we had one scheduled last weekend in Pensacola that got canceled. Of course, we were lucky. We've already hit 2 contests in Texas before this outbreak. We hit the San Antonio Rodeo Barbecue, and then we hit the Houston Rodeo Barbecue, both one into January, one into February, and kind of got a couple under our belt before everything shut down. Fortunate enough to get a 5th in San Antonio and a reserve grand in Houston.
Yeah, that Houston contest, that's a big one. You're cooking with the Operation Barbecue Relief guys. Almost
right.
repeated. That would have been quite a feat. How close were you?
Yeah. I think it was, I want to say it was 1.8, something like that. Our ribs have kind of been our strong category there in the past couple of years. But this year, chicken and brisket came on the top, and ribs fell down to like 41st. So figured if we would have had about a 25th rib, we'd have won it again. So you never know, but we didn't have a bad rib. It was as good as we've always cooked. If something fell down and, we weren't happy with it, it'd be different. But, we were happy with everything we turned in, and at the end of the day, we were happy with reserve grand. So.
Oh, you bet. Now, who all's on the Operation Barbecue Relief team with you, and compared to your normal cooking team?
The normal cooking team is a totally separate group. OBR team consists of it's kind of an all-star team. Joey Smith is Texas Chrome out of Leander, Texas, which is an Austin suburb. And then Scott Guy, which lives, consequently enough, 5 minutes away from me here in Byhalia. He's the local warehouse manager for OBR, but he's an accomplished cook and cooked on lots of other teams in the Memphis and May circuit, and actually was part of the winning whole hog team at Memphis and May last year. So Scott's he did our chicken, and Joey did our brisket. Kind of our team captain, if you will, is Dwayne Daniel. He's a full timer at OBR, but he's been in the circuit a long time cooking Memphis and May, and I want to say he's won 2nd and 3rd in ribs at Memphis and May. But an accomplished cook, but he's primarily our team captain. But every year we have a kind of a family reunion based around the Houston Rodeo. We've got people coming from all over the country that are part of OBR that just want to be there to be the support and be a part of the community and the involvement. And it's just a big family get together, and we always have a great time when we do it.
Well, Memphis in May is certainly, like everything else, going to be different this year. We hope it's going to be held just like everything else sports-wise, that it'll make a comeback. But, how tough is it? Such a staple. I don't know how many years you've done it now, but it's going to be strange, I would imagine, not having Memphis in May.
It's not having anything leading up to it even, we're used to having there's usually 4 good contests in the area that lead up to it, get everybody going and primed for it, and nothing happening. And it's certainly going to be weird not having it. I'm going on about 25 years in Memphis in May, and just used to that happening and being part of our schedule. And now it's not. We're going to have to maybe we'll have to go fishing or go to the beach. I think we'll live though.
Well, did I see you go deer hunting or something over the weekend, or go turkey hunting to kind of pass the time?
Yeah. And this time of year, I devote a little bit of time to going crappie fishing and turkey hunting. Those are 2 of my passions, and so I always seem to skate a little bit of time to do that. And the good Lord's blessed me with more time to do it this year. You got to look at it that way. I have opportunity in the midst of all of this going on in the world.
Well, we have to look at the positives if we can in this situation. That's for sure.
That's
Memphis
right.
in May becoming possibly Memphis in October. We hope things are calmed down by then. But obviously Memphis is a beautiful area any time of the year, but October will be beautiful as well.
It'll be nice.
Just be
they
happy to be cooking. Hopefully.
Hopefully, man. There's a lot of contests leading up to that. I signed up to be a part of that one up in Washington, the Blues Hog Invitational Rib Cook-Off that they're doing, and a live fire event. And supposed to be going to that. Hopefully, all this will be put to bed by then. We can make that one happen.
Yeah, they're doing a double steak cook-off up there. Do you do much steak cooks?
I do. I do more steak in the past couple of years than anything, and we've taught quite a few steak contests. I mean, steak classes. We've taught quite a few steak judging classes here at the headquarters, and I've cooked a lot of contests. And I've only won a few, but I've placed in a lot of them. But I think I've won 2 and second, and placed in a lot of them. But I've learned how to cook it and learned that it's just like barbecue. Every dog has his day, but it's growing. It's growing because it's inexpensive. It's accessible. There are fewer barriers to entry. It's just downright fun. It's just as fun as barbecue without the expense and the time it takes to devote to do it,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's going to be a busy second half of the year, assuming things do get back on track, with all kinds of contests, including several majors packed in a fairly short order of time.
Yeah, if they happen to have Memphis in May, and the state cook-off championship is scheduled already for the same weekend that Memphis in May is talking about that. And then you've got the Jack moved to the first part of October now, and then depending on I haven't looked at where the Royal falls in, it's going to be probably 2 weeks before Memphis in May, so it's going to be crazy. And whoever runs that gauntlet, they're going to be wore out.
Boy, they are, aren't they? It's going to be everybody's going to be happy to be cooking, but they're going to be tired by the time winter rolls around.
Man, the fall is always like that. It always seems to be a gauntlet, and this year is going to be twice as bad, which is going to be tough. Funny though, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you bet. Is Memphis in May, is that undoubtedly your number one event, favorite event of all time?
That one, and now Houston's is a close second.
Sure.
Yep, it's close second. It's a very well run event. After you go to Houston, you realize how that Houston Rodeo Barbecue Committee, how much of a difference they make, and how well organized that machine runs. They are second to none when it comes to organizers. They put on a heck of a party. They're very hospitable. Memphis has got our heart, of course. We've done it so long, and it's part of who we are. But man, I tell you what, it's if you go down there, you can learn a thing or two from those people at the Houston Rodeo Committee.
I'll bet you can. Visiting with Mark Lambert here on the Tailgate Guys Barbecue Show, special video edition this week. Mark, we're usually behind the cameras and not in front of them, so this is different for us, but we appreciate you coming on and making this Skype thing work. You've been cooking since 1996 in competition. How'd you get started?
Funny enough, I sold cell phones back in the cell phone days when they became real, when the flip phone was the one to have, And I worked for a company called Bell South Mobility, and they used Memphis in May as a means for hospitality to entertain a lot of their real estate owners, where they were putting up cell sites and a lot of their high-end corporate customers. So they used it for hospitality, and they used some of the underlings like myself who were fresh out of college to come down and take out the trash and chop the vegetables and put up the facades and be the bartenders. And so they let us go down there and stay on the clock and have fun at Memphis in May. And after a couple of years of that, they pulled the budget. We had a bad year, profits were down or whatever. And a few of us that were addicted kind of already to the Memphis in May experience decided that we wanted to continue to do it. So we pulled our resources. At the time, I wasn't a cook. First couple of years, I was just an observer and just learning. I knew nothing about barbecue. I'm from Southeast Oklahoma, and to us, barbecue was kind of burning ribs on a grill or, something like that. But I didn't know anything about it as I do now or anything close. Had no idea what barbecue was about. Never had a pulled pork sandwich, So when given the opportunity, we pulled our resources, and a buddy of mine that worked for Bell South, his daddy taught him how to cook pork shoulder, and we came together, and he was our head cook, and I learned from him. And I'm going to say it was probably a neighborhood of 3 or 4 years later, he passed, and I had learned enough to pick up the reins and keep going with it. And one year we happened to, I guess we hit a 9th place at Memphis in May. And kind of got the bug to continue doing it a little bit more. I think it was just a few years after that we hit our first place shoulder at Memphis in May, and then that was in 2005. And then in every year after that, up to like 2000, up to 2015, we've been in the top 10, and we've won first and second. First 4 times, second twice, third once, but have always been in the top 10 every year since then. And so we've been very fortunate, and that's kind of led me into venturing into KCBS and learning about that, and with the onset of SCA and all those good people there, and learning about that. I'm still a student at barbecue. I enjoy learning new things. Every time there's something new that comes out, I like to go and learn it and figure it out and decide if it's something I want to do. And I tell you what, people ask me all the time, do you like Memphis and May better? What do you like, KCBS or steak? You like steak cooking better? I like it all. I like a blend of it. I don't know that I could just pick one and do it. I like a little bit of all of it, and I like the necessity of learning and excelling in a different arena and different rules or different proteins. I like cooking at the end of the day. I don't like cooking just barbecue. So it's a lot of fun. It's been an evolution into, when I first started with that new team, I didn't have fresh out of college, I didn't have the money to compete in barbecue. It's expensive, Yeah. So I started selling smokers on the side in order to support my habit, the best way to put it. I had a competition barbecue habit, so I found somebody that needed a local rep and started pushing backwood smokers to make a little extra money so I could go compete. And didn't really realize it, but at the time it was kind of the beginning of my evolution into, opening a full-time barbecue supply.
And I was going to ask you, what do you cook on? What kind of cooker do you use these days?
Man, I use a little of everything. In Memphis and May, we use a backwood smoker.
Mm-hmm.
One, because of the capacity and consistency in cooking, the amount of meat you got to cook there. But I think it's probably the best pork cooker out there. For competition pork, it's certainly been my for that amount of competition pork.
Sure.
Now there's other ones like drums and things like that will cook a small amount really well and a lot faster. But for the amount you have to cook, I think it's the best smoker there is. But still, sometimes when we do KCBS, I'll still use a pellet smoker sometimes. Sometimes I use a drum smoker, whether it be a Gateway or a Mayu drum from R&B Works or a Louisiana grill or a Yoder. I use a variety of different ones, and I've even got my own little smoker now called a Red Box. And it was the old backwoods that they discontinued years ago, their patio model. And so I imported that model, and I cook my ribs and my competition chicken on it now. So, but sometimes we cook the big meats either on a pellet grill or a drum, or I bought a Jumbo last year, been experimenting with that. It's not really a volume cooker because it's got a lot of hot and cool spots, which is perfect for competition barbecue where you don't need the volume. So I've been learning the Jumbo way a little bit as well, but I like the way the big meats come out on the Jumbo.
Yeah, you bet. What's the most popular product you have of your rubs, sauces, and injections and so forth?
Probably my original rub is the very first one we come out with back in, I'm going to say 2005 is when we first started bottling it. That's our most popular seller. I think it's the most widely distributed. It's the sweetest, and it's low sodium, and it's just designed for barbecue.
Is that it right
the
there?
brine, that's the brine, actually. That's
the
sweet brine
okay.
of mine.
Yeah.
The brine is very, very popular in competition circles for injecting pork butts. Also, people are using it on ribs in the wrap, and they're using it to finish the ribs with as well. So it's a very popular. That was kind of one of the next things I came out with. I came out with the original barbecue rub, the sweet one. Then I came out with an original barbecue sauce that actually consequently won first place at the Scovie Awards this year. And then we came out with a sweet vinegar sauce after that. That's a blend of North Carolina flavors and Memphis flavors. And then the brine was next. Years and years we've developed our pork shoulder injection for Memphis and May that done really well, but it was all done out of liquid ingredients. Some of Ubon's meat marinade and a little bit of apricot nectar and some water and salt and sugar. Those are the things we always used to put in it. Well, we worked to develop this brine with our vendor, Old World Spice and Seasonings, to develop a dry version of it. You could blend with water, make it more shelf-stable, and then use it in a variety of other different ways out of the shaker. So the brine's become hugely popular. The past couple of years, I want to say there's probably been at least 3, if not 4, of the top 10 KCBS teams of the year in pork that use that brine.
Oh, you bet. Well, are people having trouble finding products these days with the situation we're in, or are you seeing more online shopping?
The online's down. It's funny. We're in a huge barbecue mecca here in the Memphis area, so our walk-in business here is still pretty good. We all try to keep our distance, of course, and use our, we've got our value size thing of hand sanitizer here.
Yeah.
So we do our best to stay healthy and safe with people coming in and out of here. But our online sales are down and the walk-in sales are up. Who knew? I thought it was going to be the other way around. Grocery stores are crazy. We try to stay away from them. There's too many people, and they don't really have that much on the shelf right now. But in the way of barbecue, there's a lot of cooking going on at home, and you've got this whole, I'm starting to see this social media movement of, cooking at home, barbecue at home. I can't remember what they called it, but I got an email from PK Grills this morning promoting, cookout at home, and it's promoting your backyard cooking, back porch cooking, whatever you're grilling, whatever you're barbecuing, to share it. Even though you can't be out in the competition world, that we're cooking out, but we're cooking in at home, and they're promoting the sharing and social online socializing of your cooking out.
Yeah, it's a good time for people just to maybe clean out the freezer, see what they have in there that before it goes bad, clean it out and cook it and see what you have, right?
Yeah, we've done that. We did a little cabbage and sausage and corned beef stir fry today from stuff we found in the freezer, and we did some beef shoulder tenders the other day, day before yesterday, with some fettuccine alfredo, and the other day we took some chicken out, made a chicken pot pie in the smoker, and we took some cubed beef out and made some beef stroganoff. So we're just taking something out, even if we're not sure what it is, and let it thaw and make something good out of it.
Hey, if folks want to find out more about your line of products and so forth, where could they go? What do you have a website?
Yeah. If you just Google Sweet Swine O' Mine, Sweet Swine O' Mine Distributing will be the first thing that you'll see, along with our Facebook page. You can go to our Facebook page and like it. We also we're active on Instagram. It's a group of girls that cook for charity called themselves Sweet Swine O' Mine down in South Louisiana. Okay. They cook hogs for the cause, and they stole my Instagram, Sweet Swine O' Mine. So on Instagram, it's Sweet Swine of Mine. But they do good things and raise money for kids with pediatric brain cancer. So you can't say anything about that. They're good girls too. But Sweet Swine O' Mine Distributing, you can go. It's ssomd.com, and you can see everything that we've got there. If you're not sure if we have something, type it in the search bar. Sometimes with so many products, things tend to get lost in the periphery unless you spell it just right or don't have a space instead of a hyphen or something. These websites are not all as intuitive as they should be, but the search bar works really well. So use that search bar regardless of where you go. It makes things quicker and easier.
Well, hey, Mark, thanks so much for coming on with us this week and giving the barbecue folks some good talk and good chance to catch up during the downtime. But we'll hopefully get busy cooking again soon on the competition trail.
Yeah, there's, like you said, it's crazy out there. I tell everybody to stay out of the grocery stores, but I tell you, these online purveyors, not just myself, but there's a lot of people that run online stores, not just for sauces and rubs and grills and things, but for meat. So you've got, folks like the Butcher Shop in Pensacola, Florida. You've got Snake River Farms. You got Compart Family Farms. You got Creekstone Farms. They got all these guys that have lots of meat, and their main business is online. They're not running out anytime soon. So if you have trouble finding it, FedEx and UPS and all those guys are still running. You can get about anything you want delivered in a couple of days from just about any of these high-end meat purveyors, and they've got everything in stock. I know I ordered a case of brisket points myself the other day just because there's no brisket in the store, but I like cooking the point better anyway. But you can get just about anything you want online, whether it be high-end or low-end stuff. There's delivery for anything. That's weird that my online business is down in the midst of all this. I expected to be busier and shipping, but hey, I'll take it if it's coming through the door either way.
You bet. Well, hey, Mark, thanks so much. And man, you be well. Stay safe.
Hey, Good talking to you, Lynn.
Thanks, Mark.
The St. Louis area-based Code 3 Spices is a first responder-owned company that donates 25 cents of every unit sold to first responders and military organizations. Code 3 products are MSG and gluten-free and don't contain any high-fructose corn syrup. Learn more about Code 3 Spice products and their mission in giving back at code3spices.com. Spice it up for those who serve with Code 3 Spices World Championship products. They're available in many major grocery chains across the USA and online at code3spices.com. And we're back on this special edition of the Tailgate Guys Barbecue Show, a video edition this week with a segment with a buddy Smiley Mondragon, Smiley Dragons Barbecue out of Springfield, Missouri. Smiley's going to tell us a little bit about Royal Oak Charcoal. He's like ourselves, a proud member of the Royal Oak 2020 barbecue family. And we're going to talk about lighting a fire and getting a gateway drum the proper way, getting it ready to cook using Royal Oak. All right, Smiley, we have the gateway drum out. We're ready to cook. Kind of take us through your steps as you get ready to fire it up with the Royal Oak lump charcoal.
All right, well, first off, we have to have some Royal Oak, some of the best charcoal in the world. What we have here is a gateway drum smoker. It's a 55-gallon drum smoker. If you're not familiar with it, you haven't cooked on one, you should definitely give it a shot. Most of the top teams in the world are using them. Basically, what we would do here is pull your basket out. Even works for a short guy like myself. What we do is we like to use the Royal Oak. Put about 3/4 of a basket in there. I like to make a little hole right here in the middle for our tumbleweeds. And man, these things, whoever come up with these things is a genius. So what you do here is you stab your tumbleweed in the middle. I just use one. Depends on how fast you want your fire started. I don't mind letting it creep up slow. So what I do is get that tumbleweed started, and I'll set a piece of lump or something around it there to get it going. We'll give it a few minutes. Put this back in the drum. And you need to open up your intakes here all the way. And I'd say give it about a good 10-15 minutes. And then you'll get a good, about fist size red charcoal, or the charcoal turn red, where you're good to go. Once you get that going, then you put your grate and everything back in, and set your intakes about, I'd say about a quarter of a way. And that'll get you right at 300 where we like to cook.
Smiley, tell us a little bit about the history of Smiley Dragon Barbecue, how long you've been doing competition cooking.
Well, this is our 3rd year cooking. We started a couple years ago, and it was me and a friend of mine, Boomer. We started cooking, and I bought a camper, and we started the team with Smiley Dragon just because my name's Smiley Mondragon, so it was just easy. And then we started on a different brand of cookers, and then last year we changed to gateways, and we took some more classes, and my team actually changed up a little bit. Boomer had some things going on, and he decided that he wasn't going to cook last year, spend more time with family and things, and that's understandable. So I kind of made ours a family deal, and my wife stepped up and she wanted to help cook and said, if we're going to do this, we're going to take it seriously. So I took a couple classes, and we switched to gateway drums and haven't looked back since. Last year we had, it was a pretty good year, I'd say, for a 2nd year team. We ended up in the top 100 in the world. So brisket was our best meat last year, and we started out this year with a good start on brisket also. We got a 2nd place last week in Olathe, Kansas, and it's just the minor things that we've learned that help you succeed and, be successful. You got to start out with good product is the main thing. And something as simple as good charcoal to a good cooker to a new rub versus something that you've had in the counter in the cabinet for months at a time. You got to start out with good product, good meat, and it helps you be successful.
So you've had one competition that you were able to get in before the shutdown of basically the country. How are you handling this? How are barbecue cooks across the country handling all this downtime?
Man, I think everybody's on the edge of their seat right now, waiting on when we can. I use the word loosely, released. To go out and cook, released back in the wild, and everybody's antsy, ready to cook. I'm just kind of cooking at home. We cooked some steaks last night. I was planning on kind of jumping on the SCA trail this year, and
yeah, so much for that.
We'll see how that goes, but we're just paying attention and trying not to be too crazy and stay away from people and just do what they tell us to do.
And meanwhile, it's going to be a busy second half of the year cooking-wise, assuming things do get back to normal. And we can use this time right now to practice a lot at home. That'd be the best thing to do.
Definitely. I've got a freezer full of briskets and ribs and things that we can be doing. It's hard to look at them and say, I want to cook them, but, you got to hold that stuff back because, you just never know what's going to happen. I think the end of the year is going to be pretty full of competition. We're not going to have the rest time, which is a good thing, I think. Last year we found out that when we rested, had a break, we actually did worse when we got back. I feel like consistency is key. The more you cook, the better you get, and we'll see how that goes at the end of the year.
I got a couple of briskets by UPS yesterday from the butcher shop, and those things are just beautiful. I ordered them just before I knew the competitions that were coming up weren't going to happen.
Right.
Put them in the freezer. I was kind of tempted to leave one out.
It hurts a little bit, right?
But, you got to hold the good stuff back, but look forward to getting to those later in the year.
Definitely.
But meanwhile, good time if you have a freezer at home that's had stuff in it since last year. Go through it. Clean out your freezer. Cook some of that meat that might go to waste otherwise. Maybe you've forgotten about.
And I don't know about you, but I kept a lot of trimmings from last year. I ground a lot of it up, turned it into burger, which right now, if you can't find hamburger meat, it's great to have that in the freezer. So we've been using some of that actually the past few days, and it comes in handy. Keep all your trimmings and stuff that you use. A lot of people throw that away, but I would keep it and use it in the hamburger, brisket, make some sausage out of it. There's a lot of things you can do with it.
Absolutely. Smiley Man, Mondragon, Smiley Dragon's Barbecue. Smiley, thanks for coming by and giving a few tips on how to light a drum properly and tell us about your team. We'll look forward to seeing you and everyone else back on the competition circuit sometime in 2020.
Definitely.
Back in a minute to wrap up this week's edition of this abbreviated Tailgate Guys Barbecue Show.
All right.
And we're back for the final segment of this week's improvised video version of the Tailgate Guys Barbecue Show. I want to tell you about DDR Fab, manufacturer in the USA of high-quality, heavy-duty cold-rolled steel. There's nothing flimsy about the products that are produced by DDR Fab. They make custom-made barbecue signs, personalized barbecue utensils. They can make you some stainless steel food-grade custom grill grates or engraved spatulas, custom-sized or 9-inch size that many teams use to flip their competition briskets. If you have a team logo, they can help you out with that. They can make you look fab. Look no further than DDR Fab at ddrfab.com. Check them out. Also want to tell you about our friends at Affordable Income Tax and Payroll. Experience-friendly and family-owned. Affordable wants you to use their services to avoid all that tedious tax paperwork. Leave all that prep to them as they let you do the backyard barbecue at your leisure. Located 300 East Sunshine in Springfield, Missouri. Go out and see Sel and his team. They want to help you out in these busy times. Find them on the web at affordabletp.us, or if you're in the Springfield area, give them a call, 417-719-4069. I think they're even doing drive-up tax services this week. So come out. You can do anything drive-up wise, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, Steve, we're wrapping it up. Not much sports-wise to talk about this week as everything's kind of on hold. Watching a lot of basketball, college basketball over the weekend reruns. I saw the 2017 NCAA tournament championship game. Villanova beating North Carolina on a last-second shot.
Yeah.
Anything you watched over the weekend that caught your eye?
Let's see. I did watch a little bit of Cardinal Insider with Ozzie Smith and Mike Schilt talking it over a little bit. And I wish Color 10 or KY3 here in town could show some of the Missouri State great and glory games of basketball that we both got to cover a little bit. And the Lady Bears too, and they're charged to the Final Four 2 times, and it'd be nice to see some of that stuff. But I don't know what the buying the rights to that stuff would cost them. I know on ESPN and that they're showing a lot of the NCAA tournament games and stuff like that. So we'll just have to wait it out and see. They have had PPA bowling on it without an audience, right?
Without an audience, but now they're on hold too. So
are they?
The only thing live going on is a few horse race tracks are still open around the country. No spectators in the stands, but also the NASCAR drivers are getting together for simulated racing on iRacing, and Fox is televising that with their Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon in the announcers booth announcing iRacing. So that's interesting.
So are they using like Nintendo games to do that, or those big vending games that you sit in and you actually have a steer wheel and all that stuff?
Yeah, these are big simulators there. Some of them are quite expensive that these drivers have bought, and it's quite a deal where people will get online and race against each other 24 hours a day. It's quite an adventure.
We're just gonna have to cope. I mean, the Olympics, it looks like they're going to be put off for a year, and that sounds fair. I mean, it's not like they're going to cancel it altogether. It's just another year of training for these people, and I think they'll be just as well as they were now. So I think that's only fair.
Well, I guess as of now, happy cooking at home. That's what we'll do.
That's right.
Folks are going to be cooking at home and use this time to spend with your family and clean out your freezer, cook some good stuff, and get your barbecue going.
Yeah, we'll see what's going on. But yeah, I've got a lot of stuff that I can do on the grill. I picked up some salmon today, and I got steaks. We got everything. I mean, you're the same way, and just cook it up and eat it. And they haven't really asked barbecue folks to do anything as far as providing meals for anybody. But if they wanted to do something, we could surely show up and start cooking some stuff.
Well, follow us on Facebook if you have any suggestions or ideas or just want to talk about barbecue. We're here for you. Share your recipes on our Facebook page, and we'll share out what we're cooking. You did some tremendous looking skirt steak last night.
Yeah, it really turned out good. I think if people see us now, they'll probably suggest a makeover, and then we'll go up from there. But yeah, we don't normally do this. We don't want to scare any little kids, but this is what it is.
It is what it is indeed. Back next week in one form or another, whether we're back behind the microphones, hiding from the video cameras, or maybe we'll do this again. We'll see.
Well, hopefully we'll be ready to go next week.
Yeah, more great barbecue talk, though, in some fashion or another. But for now, our time is up. We thank you for yours.
Smoke them if you got them, folks.
And we're back for the final segment of this week's improvised video version of the Tailgate Guys barbecue show. I want to tell you about DDR Fab, manufacturer in the USA of high-quality, heavy-duty cold-rolled steel. There's nothing flimsy about the products that are produced by DDR Fab. They make custom-made barbecue signs, personalized barbecue utensils. They can make you some stainless steel food-grade custom grill grates, or engraved spatulas, custom sized or 9-inch size that many teams use to flip their competition briskets. If you have a team logo, they can help you out with that. They can make you look fab. Look no further than DDR Fab at ddrfab.com. Check them out. Also want to tell you about our friends at Affordable Income Tax and Payroll. Experience friendly and family owned. Affordable wants you to use their services to avoid all that tedious tax paperwork. Leave all that prep to them as they let you do the backyard barbecue at your leisure. Located 300 East Sunshine in Springfield, Missouri. Go out and see Sel and his team. They want to help you out in these busy times. Find them on the web at affordabletp.us. Or if you're in the Springfield area, give them a call. 417-719-4069. I think they're even doing drive-up tax services this week. So come out. You can do anything drive-up wise, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, Steve, we're wrapping it up. Not much sports-wise to talk about this week as everything's kind of on hold. Watching a lot of basketball, college basketball over the weekend reruns. I saw the 2017 NCAA tournament championship game. Villanova beating North Carolina on a last-second shot.
Yeah.
Anything you watched over the weekend that caught your eye?
Let's see. I did watch a little bit of Cardinal Insider with Ozzie Smith and Mike Schilt talking it over a little bit, and I wish Color 10 or KY3 here in town could show some of the Missouri State great and glory games of basketball that we both got to cover a little bit, and the Lady Bears too, and they're charged to the Final Four 2 times, and it'd be nice to see some of that stuff. But I don't know what the buying the rights to that stuff would cost them. I know on ESPN and that they're showing a lot of the NCAA tournament games and stuff like that. So we'll just have to wait it out and see. They have had PPA bowling on it without an audience, right?
Without an audience, but now they're on hold too. So
are they?
The only thing live going on is a few horse race tracks are still open around the country. No spectators in the stands, but also the NASCAR drivers are getting together for simulated racing on iRacing, and Fox is televising that with their Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon in the announcer's booth announcing iRacing. So that's interesting.
So are they using like Nintendo games to do that, or those big vending games that you sit in and you actually have a steer wheel and all that stuff?
Yeah, these are big simulators there. Some of them are quite expensive that these drivers have bought, and it's quite a deal where people will get online and race against each other 24 hours a day. It's quite an
We're just gonna have to cope. I mean, the Olympics, it looks like they're going to be put off for a year, and that sounds fair. I mean, it's not like they're going to cancel it altogether. It's just another year of training for these people, and I think they'll be just as well as they were now. So I think that's only fair.
Well, I guess as of now, happy cooking at home. That's what we'll do.
That's right.
Folks are going to be cooking at home and use this time to spend with your family and clean out your freezer, cook some good stuff, and get your barbecue going.
We'll see what's going on. But I've got a lot of stuff that I can do on the grill. I picked up some salmon today, and I got steaks. We got everything. I mean, you're the same way, and just cook it up and eat it. And they haven't really asked barbecue folks to do anything as far as providing meals for anybody. But if they wanted to do something, we could surely show up and start cooking some stuff.
Well, follow us on Facebook if you have any suggestions or ideas or just want to talk about barbecue. We're here for you. Share your recipes on our Facebook page, and we'll share out what we're cooking. You did some tremendous looking skirt steak last night.
Yeah, it really turned out good. I think if people see us now, they'll probably suggest a makeover, and then we'll go up from there. But we don't normally do this. We don't want to scare any little kids, but this is what it is.
It is what it is indeed. Back next week in one form or another, whether we're back behind the microphones, hiding from the video cameras, or maybe we'll do this again. We'll see.
Well, hopefully we'll be ready to go next week.
Yeah, more great barbecue taco in some fashion or another. But for now, our time is up. And thank you for yours.
Smoke them if you got them, folks.